And we're going to take a break. When we come back, is there serious trouble in the satellite radio business? Are these two new wave radio neophytes overspending on the likes of Stern and Oprah and under-delivering for investors? We're going to ask, can you face the squawk on the street? That's next. As we told you earlier in our program, Sirius satellite radio this morning reported a loss in the fourth quarter, a penny worse than analysts were looking for. Sirius blaming higher programming costs for the shortfall. Take a look at the stock of pre-market trade. We're off nearly 5% on the news. Yesterday, of course, XM radio reported fourth quarter results. The loss there also wider than expected. Shares got hammered after an XM director quit, saying a crisis could be in the offing at the company. Pardon the pun, but is there serious trouble ahead for the satellite radio business? Here with his instant analysis is Reuven. He's an independent trader, president of Reuven Enterprises. And Ron, we were hoping you'd come in because you had some interesting analysis on this whole Howard Stern versus Oprah situation. But let's just start first with Sirius. You own shares of Sirius, not XM. The stock's down 5% this morning. What do you think?
It's a buying opportunity. The bottom line is that these two companies have a huge opportunity. There are only two companies in an entire sector. It's not like the software sector or the internet. There's only two companies in the entire sector. There's roughly 354 million people or places that could actually have these radios. That's not including Canada, which is about 34 million. And there's only two companies. And everybody out there is predicting what they're going to do over the next 5 years, which I think is wrong, because between the two companies, there's only about 10 or 11 million subscribers, and it's just the beginning. So as far as the company itself is concerned, we're predicting that the company is actually underestimating what they're going to do over the next year and over the next several years. They should be able to get to about 7.5 million subscribers by the end of the year, and the business model will allow them that once they break even, once they get to approximately 5 or 5.5 million subscribers, they should be able to generate about 70% of the additional revenues after that to go to the bottom line.
But the subscriber numbers, I mean, first of all, they don't have profits yet. They're far from it by their own estimates.
Right.
But also, what about the subscriber growth? I mean, you know, some people have been telling me their cars come with XM or Sirius. Once that subscription runs out, they're not renewing it. So some of these subscriber growth numbers could be pretty pie in the sky.
Well, that's proven by the churn rate. And the churn rate is the number that's, you know, the loss of customers. And their churn rate was only 1.5%. If you look at similar industries that need subscribers, like cell phones, for example, the average churn rate is over 4.5%. This industry only has 1.5% for Sirius and a little bit over that for XM.
You did a breakdown of you compared the cost of Oprah and Howard Stern, and you did it a little differently than most people do. What did you find? Explain it to us.
Well, the thing is, though, is that Wall Street has made every analyst have their own proprietary way of analyzing things, which is very complicated for the individual investor to understand. These cash flow analysis, the PE ratios, everything that the average investor out there, whether they have money or not, can't understand. We did it the simple way. You know, Howard Stern has approximately a 4-hour show just on one of his stations, not including the second one, per day, 5 days a week, which is about 1,040 hours a year.
Right.
He's getting paid $100 million a year for him and his crew, which is about $93,000 an hour.
Right.
Granted, it's a lot of money. Okay, it's obviously a lot of money, but because of his track record in the past, because he's already brought in at least 1 million subscribers, that pays for it. Now, Oprah, on the other hand, is getting paid $55 million for 3 years, which is about $18.3 million a year. Okay, now she's only going to do a 30-minute show per week. That's it.
Oh.
I don't really think that anybody is going to subscribe to just, you know, a little bit extra if they're a big fanatic of Oprah, just for that extra 30 minutes. And when you do the math, 30 minutes a week is 26 hours a year, which is about $705,000 an hour. If she was spending just as much time on XM as Howard Stern is, then her contract would be worth about $3.7 billion. Okay, now, this is not to say that the contract is a bad contract.
Right. No,
it's going to give them, obviously, a lot of publicity, but the reality of it is, it's to see that the Howard Stern contract technically is not as expensive as some people make pretend for it to be.
Very quickly, why do you prefer Sirius over XM?
Because percentage-wise, we're predicting that Sirius will go to $15 a share, possibly $16 before the year is over, whereas XM valuation, I think, because of the content, they should be undervalued in comparison to Sirius. It should reach about $59 a share.
Okay, so it's a valuation call.
Yes.
Ron, we appreciate your coming in. Thanks so much, and thanks for that interesting analysis. That's why we found you. We appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
All right, and we're going to have much more on Sirius later today on CNBC. The CFO, David Frere, is going to be joining Bill and Sue on Power Lunch at 12:40 Eastern. You certainly are not going to want to miss that.
Okay, the final countdown to the opening bell already. Yeah, it's already time to count down. This show goes fast.